Hey, back for another episode of It's a Football Thing. As always, I'm your host, RJ, and I'm joined by my champion co-host and legendary mates, Scott the Goon and Rob the Rev Devil. How are we this evening, gents?
Very good, very good. Robbie and I both just got home in the nick of time for this one, didn't we, Rob? We used all our pace, mate.
Yeah, mate. Sit 3 minutes to spare. I had Mum's birthday, so I've done a quick rush home. So I'm nice and full and
Happy
ready to talk
birthday, Mum.
football.
I'm sure she's watching. Happy birthday, Mrs. Imbruglia.
Yeah.
On the big screen.
Yeah. I could have done a banner or something if I'd known in advance.
We'll get one up, don't worry.
That's it.
It's all happening.
We've got a big week, boys, ahead of us. It's Thursday night, the night where we look ahead to all the action. There was some Champions League this morning that I'm sure you boys will be interested in talking about, and maybe a little bit of quick chat about the Fantasy Premier League. So should be a good one. All right.
Or if you're already here joining us, great. It's already pumping.
That's it. We've got Concierge of Crime in the live chat. Good evening, my man. Sending me that beautiful Milky Lane, those burgers on Twitter. You're making me hungry all day, dude. Tom's here. Evening, Tom. Big game for you boys this weekend.
Hey, Tommy.
Daniel's here. Daniel, love the enthusiasm, my man. Make sure you write down my predictions properly this week, all right? No doing the dodgy on me. And we
Stop giving him points.
That's it. We've got declared here as well our pro clubs buddy who scored some bangers last night. Well done. ZVO Genius is here. Good to have you here, my man. Always love your contributions. Boys, without any further ado, let's get straight into this thing. We are kicking off the round with Southampton hosting Aston Villa. What are your thoughts on this one, Robbie?
I like Saints, mate, lately. They've been very consistent. Like I said, very good at the back, as we've continued to say. And they're getting the points on the board, considering I had them as a relegation battle at the start of the season. They're slowly plodding along and collecting those points. So, look, Villa, they've had, I think, 4 out of the last 5 have been losses, so they're in a bit of a slump themselves. I'm going to go 1-1 draw in this one.
What about you, RJ?
Yeah, who would have thought that at this time of the season, it's 14, 15, battling for, staying above the drop zone, especially the way Villa started the season. But like Robbie said, 4 out of 5, they are in a textbook slump. The question is, at what point do they get themselves out? Because their performances have been pretty dismal, I've got to say very quickly, but I don't see it lasting forever. But conversely, Saints have been performing well. So I'm gonna lean towards Robbie on this one, and I think it'll be a 1-1 draw as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Tom saying Villa need to start looking behind. They made a lot of offensive signings with the Jack Grealish money, but it's just not clicked for them at the moment. They looked okay and they are all out of sorts. I mean, they're giving away points for fun over there. So I actually think this will be a draw as well. I've disrespected Southampton. I've definitely disrespected them this season. I've not given them much love. But I'm going for 1-1. 1-1 here, boys. Let's look ahead to the next one. We might save the Manchester derby till right at the end and get Brentford Norwich out of the way. What are you thinking about this, RJ?
Yeah, look, it should be pretty one-sided. I know Norwich have improved. They had a not bad performance against Leeds. Should have really walked away with something from that match, but I think Brentford, despite them going through a bit of a glitch at the moment themselves, at home, I think they will bounce back, and I do expect them to take this one, and I'm going to lock in a 2-0 to the Bees.
Yeah, there we go. And just on the last one, David chucked his prediction in. He's calling a ball draw in the Southampton game. We are joined by Emmanuel Abue. I have a feeling this could be a Portuguese friend of ours, RJ. Bonjour, back at you, my man. David is calling a first win for the team.
Wow.
Still got me,
Brentford
boys?
too, isn't it? Is that Brentford?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in and out, but you're all good, mate.
They've got to win sometime. I think that's his logic, I reckon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
I've made the mistake.
Where are you going for this, Borgie? No, you go first.
Mate, I'm going for Brentford. I think they should do this pretty comfortably. I'm going 2-0 to Brentford here. So declared scoring an easy Brentford win. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, we'll go for the hat trick. I agree. 2-0 as well, boys. So I think we've got both games the same. 1-1 and 2-0 so far.
Yeah, geez.
And we've all got Man City 5-0. That's pretty good.
Yeah, me too. Nah.
I'm just copying RJ's tips because he's that far ahead of me. It's the only way I can make some ground, I think.
Well, you won't make any ground if you pick them all the same. You just won't get worse.
But no, I'm
better.
waiting for Robbie to stray. I just want to make some ground on him. I've given up
Fair
on
enough.
first place.
Oh, come on.
But RJ, these are your boys, and they've got a match against Burnley, who aren't a team that you should underestimate or take lightly. When you're giving us your prediction, maybe just let us know what the injury situation is for the Blues as well, because I know there's been a bit of mixture and a bit of movement. So what's that looking like?
Yeah. So you're right. First comments about Burnley at the moment. They have been improving, and you look at the ladder, and it's not for nice reading if you're a Burnley fan in 18th spot, whatever. But a win and a draw. They've only lost the once in their last 5, but they're becoming a little bit of a Mr. Squiggle team. But for us, obviously, we've had a perfect October month. Things are going pretty well, but we're still without the likes of Lukaku, Timo Werner, Mateo Kovacic. Mason Mount should be right for this game because he's still recovering from his illness that popped up last week. But Christian Pulisic was the exciting return during the week. But for me, we were able to, and we'll talk about the Champions League slightly after, where we had the 1-0 win against Malmo. The key takeaway for me was we're able to rest a couple of our key stars in N'Golo Conte and our wing backs who have really been pivotal to our success. So Chilwell and Reece James should be fresh, and I dare say are going to be the difference makers for us in this clash. So, look, for me, there's too much class for us, and I think we're going to want to do everything in our power to make this a perfect in-between international breaks, because that's what it has been. And yeah, so with that in mind, I reckon we'll have enough creatively to frustrate Burnley and ultimately force them into submission, and I'll lock in a 3-0 result in the end. I'm feeling pretty confident.
Interesting. Hey, Lukaku, Werner, either of them back or?
No, they're still injured. I think post-international break we'll see them. But like I said, with Mount there, Ziyech hasn't been going great, did score the winner, but Hudson-Odoi, not sure if you caught any of the highlights the other day, but his defence-splitting cross for Ziyech, I've liked seeing what he's bringing. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I just want to add quickly, he's been really good. So him and Jorginho, even Conte and Jorginho, I could see. So Reece James, Ben Chilwell, they're going to be the difference makers. 3-0.
Interesting. Well, your predictions backed up by ZVO Genius. I know he's a Chelsea man.
Champions of Europe, Legs Rooney.
Calling 3-0 as well. So Legs Rooney's jumped into the live chat. Good evening, our friend. How are you? Almighty Blues FC in here. Feel free to chuck your prediction for Chelsea's game in the live chat too, brother. Robbie, easy for the Blues, or Burnley might give you something to think about?
I think they'll definitely win. I'm just going to go with a 1-0 on this one. I think Burnley could frustrate a little bit, but I definitely think Chelsea will get the clean sheet, and I still think they'll definitely get the 3 points. But I don't know, it could be tighter than we think on this one. I'll go 1-0.
Interesting.
Stamford Bridge is what gave me confidence, Rob. I think if it was Turf Moor, if it was the other way around, then I'd probably follow a similar path. But that was the only other reason why I thought it'd be a bit more comprehensive. But we'll see.
Yeah, look, I'm thinking Chelsea should take these points without too much stress. Sometimes Burnley can turn up though and do what Rob said. They can really frustrate, and they've been hitting some goals as well. They're not just sitting back and playing anti-football. But I do think Chelsea have too much quality. I've waxed lyrical about their depth all season. So,
did you hear as well about the recent dictionary change about the 3 things guaranteed in life? Death, taxes, and clean sheet for Mendy. Did you hear about that?
Mate, look, he's doing well for the second best keeper in the league after Super Aaron Ramsdale. So
turn it up.
Can I get to my prediction?
He wouldn't be our top 3 prediction, mate. Fine, go ahead.
Yeah, well, just because you've infuriated me and I'm at the bottom anyway, I'm going with 1-1 in this because that's what RJ deserves. I want to acknowledge a couple of other people in the live chat before we move on. And we'll celebrate Burnley snatching points next week, boys, I promise. And Almighty Blues saying, smash the likes, guys. It does help us get seen. Let's get at least to double digits. We've got double digits watching live, so help us out. Hit the thumbs up. It costs you nothing. So definitely make sure you do that. Declared saying, let's go, you Blues. Ben's here. Welcome, Ben. And Keith saying that Burnley coming off a win, they might score and you might concede for a change. But he's
being too nice, but I like that. He's just being very polite.
He's one of my favourite Chelsea fans, and he is ahead of you in the race. Chelsea 2-0 from Ben, 2-0 for the Blues from Leg Zaruni, reminding us that they're Champions League title holders. My man Laurie, my fellow Gooner, make sure you stick around to give us a prediction for the Arsenal game. Good to have you here, brother. And there's just a little bit of bants. They like the comments about Aaron Ramsdale, the King Ramsdale. Kepper, please, get out of here. Get out of here. Let's move on, boys. The banter is taking over. I'm in a mood. Crystal Palace, Wolves. Patrick Vieira's boys are in really good form. But Wolves are pulling out some good football too. And another team that I've probably disrespected a little bit this season. Fortunately, I don't know any Wolves fans. But I think this is low-key going to be a really interesting match because Vieira's boys are looking fearless at the moment. And Wolves' attack is just starting to look a little bit more dynamic. Jimenez is starting to play with confidence and hit the back of the net. And when Jimenez is scoring goals, Wolves are doing all the right things. So I feel like I've used the draw a few times tonight, but I see this maybe being 2-2. I've been stoked with Conor Gallagher's contributions in helping Patrick Vieira, and he will give Wolves a headache. He's come into my fantasy team this week as well, so this would be the perfect time for him to bang a couple of goals. Robbie, what do you think about this?
Look, I did like that 2-2, but I think I'll change up a little bit. I'm going to go for the Palace win, 2-1.
2-1. What about you, Arj?
Is it at Crystal Palace? I just couldn't recall. It's a tough one. You look at that ladder a little bit closely. Based on form, Wolves are one of the form teams of the competition over the last month or so. I think it's 4 to 5 and drawn 1. And Palace, talk about Mr. Squiggle teams, they've drawn 6 times, man. And really, we no laugh here, Scott, but really they should have, one of those draws should have been a win against you guys. And they've done it a couple of times this season, but that seems to be the story for them at the moment. And I'm actually going to agree with you on the first one. I reckon Wolves, they won't take the win being at home to Palace, but I reckon Palace will give a good account of themselves and it's going to be all square at the end of it. So lock me in for a 1-1, actually.
Robbie, what did you call again? I couldn't remember your tip.
2-1 Palace.
2-1. Okay, let's have a look at some in the chat. We've got Emmanuel Abui has revealed his true identity. Portugal B to win at 2-1. Declared's going with Palace, Patrick Vieira's boys. Davide saying Palace for him. Vieira has got them on fire.
Yeah, agreed.
My man Laurie calling a 2-2 draw. Love that. And then Keith, thank you for showing some love, man. The door to Chelsea can stay open forever, but
as long as it's open for Gallagher to return, he's on fire.
You've got. But before we move on, when you look at the youngsters that Chelsea have out there, no banter aside, I know our fans like to have this ridiculous rivalry of whose academy is better when both have produced some real quality. But Chelsea have some really good players out there on loan.
Heaps of them.
Who do you think, RJ? Say come January, right? You had the ability to recall just one of these guys to come back into the first team. Who are you recalling?
Yeah, it's a really good question because you're right. A couple of names that strike out, obviously Gallagher, elephant in the room, but you got players like Armando Broja up top. You've got guys like Billy Gilmore. He's being wasted at Norwich at the moment. Well, look at Norwich, man. Look where they are. He's probably worth more than the whole club. Sorry to any Canaries fans out there. But look, bit salty about the Scottish Iniesta not getting the love he deserves. But
is Livramento
anyway,
Chelsea Academy as well? Livramento?
Well, he's our youngster, yes, but we have a buyback with him. He's not on loan, but again, it's almost as good as a loan because we can get him back if we want. But look, you asked me who would I take back at this stage and positions needed, etc. I'd probably say Gallagher for that fact because I'm thinking of players in our midfield that might not hang around next season. But there's a young player He's in the championship at the moment. He's doing great things at the moment. And Levi Colville doing a very great job there at Huddersfield. So, yeah, look, I love our lone army at the moment. I'm always tracking what's going on over there. But, yeah, Conagher's just got to keep his head down and working hard, and he's doing some really good things with Vieira. So it's a long season, but, yeah, probably him, I'd say.
Yeah, no, a few shouts for Gallagher in the live chat as well. In the interest of moving on, I won't go through them all because we have to jump over to the Brighton Newcastle game. We might jump to you for this one, Robbie. The world's richest club versus a club who are looking much better than they do on paper in Brighton. So what are your thoughts here?
Brighton at home, mate. Has to be for sure. Newcastle, I'm telling you, I'm starting to get more confidence that they could go down this year. So I'm going to go for a heavy win to the Seagulls now. I'm going to go 3-1 on this one.
Wow, 3-1. You're feeling pretty confident. You're feeling very confident. I have a soft spot for Newcastle. I do, and you boys would know that because I'm always saying I'd love to get some Newcastle fans on, and I've been called a closet Newcastle fan amongst many other things, but I don't think they're getting relegated, and I feel confidently about that. Now, that probably means nothing coming from the person well at the bottom of the tipping comp, but I can see this being a draw. I think I've called a draw for every game tonight, but I just feel like Newcastle are going to snatch a point. So I'm going for 1-1 in this one. What about you, RJ?
Strong. I think they'll definitely win this, nearly Brighton.
What, to Brighton for you?
Yeah.
I know they're at home, but I don't know. It's one of them gut feelings that come next week when I'm 600 points behind in the tipping, I'll probably whack myself on the forehead and say, "What are you doing?"
Potter, I like Potter. I like his system, and I just think on paper, I think they've got more quality. So, like I said, plus the home advantage for me, I'll be surprised if it's anything but yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. RJ, your prediction?
Yeah, well, you got the richest club in the world, but let's just say the immediate prospects aren't so bright. But look, for me, I don't know. They're in trouble, mate. I know that we smashed them last week, but it's not just us smashing them. They got hammered by Spurs, who've got their own basket case problems going on at the moment. They're in a real fix at the moment. For me, Brighton, chalk and cheese situation, stable club, stable manager, playing good football in the right side of the table. At home, I find it very difficult to see Newcastle doing anything, especially because of the style of football. They're very dominant, Brighton. They're not a counter-attacking classic team. They're going to dominate like Chelsea in terms of the possession side of things. And with that, they know how to find the back of the net. Yes, they've struggled the last 5 games and haven't gotten the win, but a couple unlucky results there. And I think, it's more Newcastle about how bad they're going than Brighton being in sensational form. But with that, I still think Brighton, the home team, are going to take this one out. Rob said 3-1. Did you, Rob?
Yeah, 3-1.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be 2-1. I just think Newcastle will do their best to be Bus FC, but it won't be enough Brighton to take it out.
No.
Yeah, interesting, boys. Interesting. I might kick us off on this one. I'm glad my man Laurie's still here for some Gooner representation in the chat. Arsenal Watford, we're looking good at the moment, and it's no secret that I've been really impressed with the form we've shown. It's no secret that I think Lacazette has come in and done a really important job in turning our fortunes around under Arteta's system. So I'm feeling good ahead of this one. We sometimes do seem to do this. We have a couple of good results, and then we'll play a team like this and just shoot ourselves in the foot. But I do think we're going to get the job done against Watford, where the defence is looking solid. Ramsdale has been pivotal in that, and the midfield's humming. I'm hoping that Mikel Arteta doesn't actually change anything. I'd like the lineup to be unchanged, to be honest. We're not in Europe, so plenty of time for the squad to be fresh and keep playing. I don't want change. Keep it as it is. We should have enough to beat Watford and do it comfortably. I'm going to go with a 2-0 for Arsenal in this one. What about you, RJ?
Yeah, it's hard to argue, mate, in terms of you guys, thematically speaking, have been playing a lot better, getting the results accordingly, and have beaten some pedigree teams. And thinking, obviously, last one out against Leicester, but I'd say your performance against Aston Villa was the peak so far, more complete, because Ramsdale like what Mendy did
Mm.
for us against Brentford. He was a difference maker in the end, but you need that sometimes. And I think that's good signs for Arteta that he can rely on his individuals. It's interesting you mentioned the starting lineup to be the same because we spoke about this the other night. You guys have got some competition in some positions, and I would have thought is now an opportunity to give the likes of Erdegaard a start and, like just to see can they continue that momentum, or is it something where why change what's not broken sort of thing?
To me, RJ, just to interrupt you, man.
Yeah.
I really feel that we're building that momentum really slowly, and we haven't kind of had a streak like this under Arteta in a long time. I think if he messes with that lineup, it could just be catastrophic. I believe in the motto: if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I feel like we are not broken at the moment, particularly when we've got the Liverpool game, not this week and next. We might need to make some specific changes to try and counter some threats. But against Watford, I think it just needs to be more of the same. But sorry to interrupt you, man. You do raise a good point. There is a case for rotation, but I'm not on that side.
And the case for rotation was because I don't have much faith in Watford at the moment. Yes, they had that nice 5-2 smashing of Everton, but I think we can all agree that was a freak occurrence in a 10-minute period where Everton just completely switched off. You look beyond that, and it's been pretty daunting for them, and that's why they are sitting where they are sitting. So that's why I thought Arsenal, with the rhythm they've got, might look to freshen things up, but equally I get the whole keep the rhythm going. Part of me just wants you guys to stumble a little bit, but overall, you'll get the job done. I'd be very surprised if it's anything other than 3 points. If anything, I'll probably lock in a 3-1. 3-1 to the Gunners.
I like that. Robbie, what about you?
Yeah, look, I think it's more as well. What Watford are you going to get? Like, you can get the Watford that they got pumped 5-0 Liverpool, and then the Watford that came out and scored 4 goals in the last 10 minutes the week after. So, look, I've been impressed with you guys. Have you been consistent in form lately? And so defensively, it really looks good. I really like that Tomiyasu, and Smith Rowe is really doing a good job in that cam position. So yeah, I do think at home you guys will get another 3 points. I will go for the 2-0 to the Gunners.
Absolutely. I just want to look at some of the comments in the live chat. If you haven't already, please smash the like button. It does help get our video seen, and we are on the road to 500. We would love to hit that mark.
Hey, Scott, what do you reckon? You reckon Ramsdale make a couple of average saves that get blown out of proportion, or what's going to happen this week, mate? What do you reckon?
Well, I think he'll be getting called up into the England squad, so I think he'll be absolutely buzzing.
That's a fair shout out too, yeah. For him,
Pickford,
it's a fair
Pickford Ramsdale at this point in time. I think
I'd start Ramsdale over Pickford. I don't know.
100%.
He's been great for me.
100%, absolutely. Let's look at some predictions from the chat. Laurie's called 3-0 to the Arsenal. He's not worried. Calvin's saying that Arsenal should edge it because Watford are formless at the moment. I hope you're right. And Keith's saying Arsenal will continue their run, but he's going for 2-1. Davide saying don't bother with the rotation. And look, if we're in a European Cup, I would say we need to rotate, but quite frankly, we're not. And there had to be some silver lining. Hopefully it's that we can push over some league teams.
Yeah, I forgot it's international break after this too, so I'm sure they'll be going even more harder to get the big 3 points and going on a positive for the international break.
Absolutely. I just want to say happy birthday to Zevio Genius as well. One of our subscribers was his birthday yesterday. Hope you had a cracker, man. Hope you had a great day and you get some points on the weekend to celebrate. Boys, next one. The debut of Antonio Conte, the Italian manager that only Spurs would announce and welcome in Spanish.
I've seen that.
What's the term for that? I'll use the Spanish name as a loco, crazy. Only Spurs would welcome their Italian manager, the best thing at their club, in Spanish. Absolute farce. What a joke. Is he going to turn them around, or are Spurs just Spurs? Robbie, what do you think? Will this be a statement game?
It's a hard one, only because Spurs have got a game tomorrow morning, so it's going to be very rushed. But look, I'm actually going to go for them to get a result here, to be honest. Look, I think Conte want to make a quick early impression. I think could get a win tomorrow, and he could go to double on the weekend. I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Spurs.
Arj?
Yeah, I don't know. To me, as I said in Twitter and other places, I do think he's going to improve them. It's just the speed of when that improvement is, because it is someone that likes to get things going pretty quickly, but it's hard to translate your ideas, your fitness regime, all in the space of a week or two. So, look, I think this is probably a good time if you're Everton to play Spurs now, just before the international break. I think post-international break, it's going to be interesting for the next block of fixtures, but being at Goodison, the way Everton, they've been underperforming lately, I reckon that this will end up being I'm actually predicting a bit of a board draw, as funny as it sounds, and I'm probably going to lock in a 1-1.
I think Everton's haven't impressed me lately. I think they've been really slumpy at the moment.
Underwhelming.
Yeah, very underwhelming, exactly.
Look, for me, I think there'll be that inevitable new manager bounce. They'll try and get some good vibes around the club. They put up the traditional training pictures of all the players smiling and Harry Kane smiling and looking happy. I do think they'll get the result over Everton.
Apparently, Kane doesn't want to leave anymore.
Well, you know what? I was inspired by Miz, who RJ and I do Down Under Football Crew with on a Monday night. He's chucked Kane into his fantasy Premier League team.
Confident.
I have gone and done the same thing now because I had Jamie Vardy there, a bit of money in the bank. I thought it wouldn't shock me. Harry Kane's only scored, I think, 2 Premier League goals this season. I think it's one. Now, that's even an unhappy Harry Kane is far better than that. So if he's going to start firing, this is the time to do it. You could just see it. You could see it in the fairy tale that new managers come in, Harry Kane scores a goal, they get 3 points. It's happy days, only for them to bottle it come the last few rounds of the season. So I am going to go for Spurs win very reluctantly. I'm salty that they
knew you were a Spurs fan. I knew it, man. Just knew it.
You've been waiting for that. I'm going with 2-0 to Spurs. I want to look at a couple of live chat comments. David is calling for an Everton win. Wants some fantasy Premier League help over there. My man.
I actually think in a couple of weeks I'm going to be looking at getting Reguilon, and I think Reguilon's going to be really, really big in the
wing back system.
Yeah. I think because he is an attacking kind of wing back or attacking fullback anyway. So if they do play a free at the back, he's going to have a lot more license. He's got really quality, some good quality crosses on him. So if he gets some nice deliveries to Kane, I could see him being really.
Even Lloris as a goalkeeper too, because he'll probably be a lot more protected. I know we're not talking FPL yet, but we kind of are. So
sorry.
Yeah, be interesting to look at. Well, no, I think we embed the FPL chat throughout the night, boys. We've been doing a good job of it. And Kate and Laurie both calling 1-1 draws. David making an interesting point. Conte is famous for his romantic regimes with the team and the rules, and he's saying if he endorses that regime, gets the Spurs players doing all the right things, 3-0 to Spurs, and I don't see why not. I do think they're going to win this. Legs Rooney asking the big question, is Conte Italian or Spanish? Well, the 2 Italians I'm sharing the stream with will tell you that he's one of their own boys, right?
100%, mate.
Absolutely. And just a little bit of stick for me for tipping the Spurs, but I'm only tipping them now because I'll get to watch them fall. We've got 2 more before the Manchester derby, the big one that we're waiting for. Leeds, Leicester. To me, I'm going to keep this. I'll keep this one really, really short. For me, I think Leicester take this 2-1. I think Jamie Vardy will hit a goal, but I actually think Leeds will go up first. So Leeds to score first, Leicester to come back. They'll want to bounce back after losing to us. RJ?
Yeah, buy me some time. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, now look, they're both, I know Leeds won last week, I get it, but pretty much out of form. Look where they are. Conceded a lot of goals this season, haven't attacked at the same prowess. Leicester, they've just, the more I back them, the more they continue to slap me in the face with their very bad defensive mistakes. And I almost think like they should just start the games off at 30-minute mark because that's when they turn up. So look, if they don't go down early, then I think they'll come out and win. But it's at King Power, isn't it? Or is it at Ellen Road?
That's
Ellen
at
Road, I
Ellen
think.
Road.
Ellen Road.
Ooh, I don't know. That does change it for me a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to stick to my original thought. Yeah, locking 2-1. 2-1 to Leicester. I think I just overpowered them in the end.
Easy. To me, Robbie, have you made yours yet, mate?
No, I haven't. I'm still confused. I'm going to go with the Leeds fan. I'm going to go with David on this one. 1-1. I can't. I'm sitting on the fence for real. Leicester's so up and down, and Leeds, like I said, they haven't been great, but they need to start collecting some points in as well. So I'll go for the draw.
And Anke calling 2-1 to the Foxes, just like me, saying that Leicester did improve against Arsenal in the second half, and Leeds are a little bit over-reliant on Rafinha. So
and not just that, Scott. Not just that. Like, obviously, they improved in the second half because Arsenal took their foot off the pedal. But also, Ramsdale was the point difference maker at the end of that first half too. So it wasn't just the second half. So.
Europa League for Leicester tomorrow as well.
Yeah, that could play a part, I dare say. Let's have a look at this one. I'm low key thinking this may be the best game of the round rather than the Manchester derby, which I'll give you a bit of a future prediction. I think that one might fizzle a little bit, but this one, West Ham,
cracking game.
Liverpool, I think there's going to be plenty of snap, crackle, and pop in this one, boys. There should be goals. There should be two teams that aren't playing within themselves and are going for 3 points, and I think that's what they'll do. Mo Salah, to me, is going to be the difference. Whilst West Ham have some players in form, Liverpool do have Mo Salah, and I just think he's operating at this point at that next tier, that next level in terms of quality. So I think he'll make his mark. I think Liverpool will take it, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I'm going with 2-1 to the Reds in this. Robbie?
Look, I know we're in a tipping comp here, but I'm going to go the upset. I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Ham, and I'm going to put it for a random goal scorer. Angelo Ogbonna is going to score off a Seth Peeps off the corner.
Hey, wow, I'm very, very specific. You know what, Daniel, if he gets that right, give him a bonus point. Anyone but RJ to win it. RJ?
Absolutely not. I was going to say, what is this? Stitch up hour. No, good. I like the Brave. Yes, I'm going to lie in between, to be honest. I think you said that they've both been playing, within themselves or playing a little bit better than what you think. I don't think that West Ham are going to be as brave as they have been in recent games. They're going to try to be a bit too conservative, which could work against them. And with that in mind, I reckon that Liverpool will pinch this one, and I reckon I'll take it 2-1 in the end. So I wanted a 1-1, but I think it'll be 2-1 to the Reds.
Interesting. Let's look at some of the predictions in the live chat. Laurie's calling 3-2 Liverpool.
Yeah.
I could see something like this.
Yeah,
I could see a really high-scoring match. I don't think it'll fizzle. David's calling 2-0 to Liverpool, some late drama. Robbie, I'm super confident that your tip's wrong because Declared agrees with you. He said he's feeling the upset too. So if you two are agreeing, I'm confident that being on the opposite side is a winner. And Legs of Rudy calling 3-0, bounce back for the Reds. Yeah, I think they'll want to make a statement after Brighton. So some good tips. Emad's joining us in the stream. Emad, how are you, man? Glad to have you here. It's always a pleasure. Boys, the big one. And this, Robbie, for you is an even bigger one because you're doing something pretty fun for this match. Just tell us a little bit about how you'll be viewing the Manchester derby.
That's what I'm looking forward to this weekend. I didn't even know the Manchester derby is on. No, it's our first time. I'm obviously a member of the New South Wales Supporters Club. And mate, it's great. It's our first pub meetup since the Europa League final. Obviously, post during COVID, no one could meet up, watch the game. So it'd be nice to actually, get there with your own kind of fans and have a beer, enjoy the game, have a feed. And sometimes it doesn't matter win, lose, or draw. It's just that's the other part of football I love, man. Just getting there with your mates, having a chat, watching the game, having a good time. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting to the city with the lads. Obviously, Tom from the podcast, Emad, I think is going to be there. George from
Georgie
the other
boy.
night, should be there. So yeah, look, it should be a good game. Look, if I'm looking at the game for a prediction, Look, I honestly do not know. I don't know what kind of Manchester United's going to turn up. The other week when we played Liverpool, I thought we might have, at home we would have got a draw. I thought we were going to play safe, and look how that happened. I'm going to take my heart out of this one. I'm just going to look. I really think the form we're in is very up and down. We're very shaky. We've lost Varane, which is going to be massive. He's got a hammy, so he's going to be out for 3-4 weeks. If I'm going to go with my head for tipping on this one, I think City's going to get this one over the line 2-1. Just another reason, I don't remember the last time City lost 2 Premier League games on the bounce as well. So I think City might edge this one 2-1.
RJ?
Yeah, you didn't. I was looking forward to hearing your analysis of the. I know we're going to talk a bit about Champions League, so you might cover it there, but against Atalanta, not very good performance, but certain individuals keeping him alive at the moment. We're not going to mention his name.
Yeah, that's it. It was a very shaky performance, but the result was the main thing again, man. We're scraping over the line. We're still top of the table somehow, but that result is a massive result. Like I said, the performance was poor, but
it's still a draw at the end of the day, though.
A draw away in Italy.
It's still a draw. It's not a win. Like this is Manchester United, Robbie. It's not to me. I'd still be furious.
Before the game, if you told me I was going to get a draw in Italy, honestly, I would have taken a draw in Italy, man. Honestly, I'm not. Atalanta's not a crap team, man. So away, we got the win against them. It's taking nothing away. The performance was bad. Ronaldo stepped up, clutch again, saved us again. Yes, but that's a big result for the Champions League in the contents of the Champions League to stay on top of the ground. We've still got another home game, the last one against Young Boys. Obviously, we know what happened first.
Bogey team. Your bogey team.
No, we'll win that at home. I'm confident. So, look, we've got Villarreal away again, which is another one. I'll take a draw there as well. But I think to finish the Champions League with a home game to Young Boys, I think we should have it in the bag. I think.
Mate, hey, can we clip that about Young Boys, RJ, that he said they'll beat him easily and he's confident? Because if they don't, Robbie, you better not make that stream up.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're better off using...
no matter what, mate.
Ollie should be using some of his Young Boys, I think, a bit more, but that's a whole separate stream. For me, look, trying to be as objective as we can here, United are in the mud at the moment. I don't care. I'd actually prefer them to win just to give us more breathing space over City. I don't think that'll be the case. But I think, if anything, they will probably frustrate City a lot. I think Ollie, I'm not going to say he's a mastermind by any means, but I reckon just given the occasion itself, what's on the line, you've got the international break coming up. He's got a good record. He seems to know how to get a bit of an edge over him. But I reckon naturally conservative style, and City will be worried about the pace of that counter-attack, which they should be worried about, of course. And I think ultimately it's going to be one of those unfortunate ball draws. I don't know. I think this is not going to be a very entertaining game to watch. Just from a footballing point of view, I think it's going to be a lot cagier than what we'd like. And, in the end, I'm going to lock in a 0-0. I know it's weird, but that's what I think is going to happen.
Fair shout. Look, for me, it's like that little bit of a pattern with Ollie. He gets to the point where you think they have no choice but to get rid of this guy. And then it's after that, he's like a phoenix, man, rises from the ashes and they get some good results. So I actually don't think Manchester United lose this derby. I'm actually going for 1-1 draw in this. Cristiano Ronaldo to do what he does best and save them late on. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. What I would be worried about as a United fan is not having Varane, because Maguire is absolutely out of form.
And Luke Shaw.
Time. Yeah. But I mean, you can almost get away with being out of form when you're out wide, but when you're in the heart of the defense and you're the go-to man, the microscope's on. So I think if he turns up and he's not at his worst, United could even win this. But I think it'll be a 1-1 draw for me. And there's some good comments in the live chat that I want to bring up. Tom saying that his hope is that Pep will overthink it like he normally does. And he's pointing out that Ollie does have it over Pep. I do wonder if that is it kind of like when you play soccer with, you've got a young fella, RJ, when you play soccer with him or you play with your little brother or little cousin and you're mucking around with them and you think, oh, I'm not going to let him touch the ball. Next minute, they've nutmegged you and scored in the top bins, like because you're just not taking them seriously.
Not against me, mate. No one gets past me.
2 feet studs up.
I don't care how young they are.
I don't know, but look, Tom's right. In all seriousness, Ollie does have a decent record. Emad's calling some blasphemy.
That's Rob's tip, I think.
Yeah. Genius saying Ollie's at the wheel. Let's go. City 3-0. Interesting comment from here, from Dave, who is a genuine Man United fan and fanboy of Ronaldo. I want to see what you think about this, Rob. He said, drink up, it's going to be a tough one. Hopefully Pep puts the dagger through Ollie and ends the nightmare.
Look, I think regardless of the result, I think Ollie's going to stay for the rest of the season now. I think we missed the boat with Conte, and I don't see who's available that they would sack him for if worst case scenario, yeah. Unless this is an absolute drumming like Liverpool, I still don't know who would go out and sack him and who they'd go and get, to be honest. There's not much available. Conte's gone now. Zidane's floating around. Some say he's interested, some say he's not. Personally, me, I wouldn't be jumping at Zidane, me personally. But look, I think that like I said, the Norwegian cat has 20 lives. I think, mate. I think
Steve Bruce is available now, man. You can get him.
I'm being serious. They're not going to sack him if there's no one. If they were in an iron for Conte, and now he's gone, I don't see who's available right now for them to go get. If worst case came to it, so yeah, I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, want to chuck a couple of comments from the live chat. Al's joined us late. My uncle, he's a good man, even though he's a Spurs fan. A little bit on my metaphor there, he's saying you can't remember me ever getting past him. No, I was too fat of a kid and you were too good of a goalkeeper. I wasn't getting any past you and you were absolutely merciless. I've still got a bit of childhood trauma from that. Emad saying that in Maguire's current form, he'd back me to skin him. Mate, I've got a right foot like you would not believe. I'd back me to skin him in his best form, Emad, to be completely honest, and put it past De Gea.
David, he's up on De Gea.
David does not agree with me. He's saying, come off it. He'll be surprised if it's not 3-0 at half-time.
I'll tell you what, though, it would be scary, wouldn't it? Because I said 0-0 out of hope, because the hope for everyone other than a Man United fan is we keep Ollie there safe and sound for the next 5 years. But in all seriousness, if City get up early, I'm really keen to see what the response is, because it could then be a blowout. I'm not taking the mick out of here either. Like, honestly, if United can frustrate them and just hang on and have the occasional counter-attack and give them something to think about, but if City come out firing and Grealish gets on the board or whatever, and all of a sudden the floodgates could open, and that's when I'm really concerned what the scoreline could be, mainly from Ollie's point of view.
100%. Laurie calling 3-1 City. Daniel calling 2-1 City. He thinks it'll be close too. Boys, that wraps up all of the games coming up in the Premier League this weekend. Absolutely can't wait till Tuesday night show when we come back and we reflect on that. But there were some Champions League games. And we'll have a quick look at some of the scores. And if you boys want to chuck in any comments, go for it. I'm back at work at the moment, so I just didn't get around to Champions League this week. But boys, I know you both did, so I'm going to scroll through slowly. We've obviously talked a little bit about Atalanta, Man United. We've seen Unai Emery's Villarreal, again, looking good, getting results. He's knocked back Newcastle. Do you think Villarreal could potentially be a chance in this competition once it gets a bit further on?
That's a big call. No. They've got to get through the group too. I still think Atalanta could get it. That'll be interesting when they play each other again too. Really, really. This whole group
opposing styles of playing.
Yeah, it's very close. I think we're locked in 7-7, and then they're only 1 point behind. So this is still a very open group. Anyone can get through on this with a good result.
Sorry, RJ, I've got to put this up. I've got to get your thoughts on this from our man Concierge of Crime. Check out the new football doco, boys. It's called Finding Pessi. Last seen stat padding versus Bolivian farmers. Ronaldo's clear. Look, Concierge of Crime, we don't agree often, but, mate, the fact that Messi, I know he's not playing at the moment, but can't get it done in that league, Ronaldo has...
Yeah, he should be scoring from the bench, injuries bench, you're right. Definitely should be scoring.
Hey, but before that, no, I'm not taking, I think, Mick either. But seriously, I expected a little bit when he was playing without this injury now. I expected something a little bit more from him.
Mm,
I really thought he would have dominated a little bit more. I'm not saying he was going to be scoring goals every week, but I thought he would be maybe a little bit more assisting.
I think part of it, to be honest, is the fact that PSG are a basket case at the moment. They're playing badly without him. They're playing badly with him. So I think that's sort of proving the point that he's not the one that's the source of their problems, to be honest. But and you're not, to credit to Ronaldo, is the team's been pretty hopeless, and he's getting goals. But equally, as we've said, his presence there might actually be interfering with their overall balance. So even though individually he's playing well, is he the better influence for the team? So it is interesting, but yeah, Ronaldo's a bit of a freak, isn't he, in terms of his output? Yeah. That's for sure.
Ronaldo is in the Premier League, 36 years old, saving our butts every week and 36. Coming up clutch. Some of his techniques, he scores goals with. Look, and this season on form, I think is way miles clear this season.
Yeah, but look at the goals Messi has scored for PSG. Like Ronaldo's the other day were very good, but the start of the season, all of his goals were tap-ins, and people were bagging him out for that. And it's like, why would you bag him out? He's still putting them away anyway. So I don't know. People just look for debates on things to suit their narrative, to be honest.
That's not what Concierge of Crime and I are doing, mate. Don't hurl stones, all right? We're just giving
Copper America's finest.
We're just giving you some brilliant football commentary and stimulating discussion. Any comments you boys wanted to make on those matches before I move on to the next match day?
You go first, Robin.
No, I was going to say with the same group as yours, I'm going to have a quick mention with Juve, mate. Look, they've been dire in the Serie A this year. They're sitting like mid-table. They're losing at home, which is very rare. They're terrible. And then you turn around and look at the Champions League. They're 4 from 4, sitting on top pretty at the moment. Look, I think that'll be a very good game when Chelsea-Juve come up soon. I actually think Chelsea might get that one at the bridge. But for them to even get that first game and, like I said, to go 4 out of 4 with the form they've been in, and like I said, Allegri's playing a different team sheet every single week. Dybala's starting to find a little bit of form. He's getting on the score sheet more consistently. So, look, sometimes it happens funny like that. The league's pretty much a write-off already, but at the moment, they're looking good for Champions League. Perfect.
But it's a bit misleading, to be honest, Rob. Like, I'm happy for an Italian point of view that they're going well, but the game against us was very professional in the sense that they just held on. Chiesa scored a wonderful individual goal straight after half-time. Lukaku misses 2 gilt-edged chances. He converts them all of a sudden. It's Juve in a bit of a crisis. But to be fair, they have improved in Serie A. I know they lost to Sassuolo, but in terms, like, generally, their bad start to the season now, I think, are largely behind them. At least in Champions League, they're going fantastic. But I think that because they've started so bad, it makes the fact that they're winning in Champions League, look a lot better than what it should be, because they're still a great team on paper. You know what I mean?
You reckon?
Yeah, they are. I think they're still attacking quite strong, and defense is a little bit old, but they are the Euro champions. You still got Bonucci, Chiellini there and co. But I know what you're saying. I just think Juventus, them on top at this stage, doesn't surprise me that much. But if they can come to Stamford Bridge and get a result, then I'll take a lot more notice, if you know what I mean. But for us, just quickly, we should have smashed Malmo. There's no two ways about it. We did rotate a fair few players, but Kai Havertz missed 2 one-on-ones from Loftus-Cheek, nice passes, and we had a couple of other chances from outside the box, and their keeper pulled off some stunning saves. So, look, 1-0 wasn't a fair reflection of the game, but ultimately the 3 points was the most important result there.
Absolutely. Before I put up the next match week, I was saying he's disappointed he missed the Conte chat. You can always come back, and for anyone in here, you can always come back in about 24 hours' time. YouTube take ages to process our streams. But if you come back tomorrow night and you click on this same link, you can rewatch. We would love it if you guys left us a comment on here. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already, because any comments, any thumbs up does help get the video seen by a wider audience. So feel free to come back. And we did chat a little bit about Conte on our Tuesday night show too, if you wanted to check that out. Let's look at this one. I will zoom in on it momentarily. Man City doing it comfortably, doing what you'd expect. Leipzig getting their first point in the group.
That was a good
against
game, that one. PSG
PSG.
conceded, they scored an equaliser, got a penalty on RB Leipzig in the last minute of the game. So that's a big drop points for PSG. They're City now sitting on top. That'll be interesting in the next game. I think it's City and PSG at City. So that'll be
They're in trouble, PSG,
Yeah.
honestly. Someone in this chat called PSG to win the Champions League. I don't recall it up me, myself, or Rob, but someone did. So that's looking a bit awkward at the moment.
Did you guys hear that thing about Sergio Ramos the other day? Obviously, he hasn't played yet, but they're thinking about cancelling his contract or something because he hasn't played. They don't know how far away he is from coming. It could be a waste of a contract and money. So, yeah, I heard the possibility of cancelling the contract maybe.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, you'd kind of think as well on RJ's comments that the Messi fanboy, the only one that thinks he's the GOAT, would kind of back his team a little bit more. But I guess it's a shadow of who the player is at the moment, and he's not good enough to make his team contenders in some people's eyes, right?
Definitely. Look at his stats.
Let's move on before RJ has any chance to defend himself. AC Milan Porto had a good game. Liverpool, they've got European pedigree. That team, they do their thing in Europe, and it was a good result against Simeone's Atletico Madrid, who I'm sure would have been unhappy with that. Did you boys catch any of that match?
Yeah, I seen the goals. There was a red card as well. I think in this one, 1 or 2 red cards. 1, I think. But look, I hate to say it, but I think Liverpool could be a smoky again for this at the moment. The way they are, same with Chelsea again. But Liverpool and Chelsea, maybe throw someone else in there. But Liverpool, you know what they're like in freaking Champions League, mate. I reckon definitely a bit of a smoky.
RJ,
You and Conte, honestly, we're just gonna have a side chat about this. You guys, honestly, lucky he's my J5 Regista brother. No, look, Liverpool are a team to be feared with. That banana skin against Brighton the other day was just that. I reckon they will. I just saw his comments. Classic stitch up. Bloody hell, honestly. Now, look, you know what was controversial though? I'm not sure if you guys saw it. The Ajax Borussia Dortmund game, the red card for Hummels. What the heck was that? Did you see it? That's one of another classic. Another English gaffer. I mean, conundrum that was. That was one of the most terrible calls. Michael Oliver, I think it was.
Yeah, then the Borussia were 1-0 up, and then Ajax come out of nowhere and 3-1. I'm like, obviously the 10 men killed Dortmund in the end, but I mean, I think they're perfect as well at the moment. Ajax, I think they've won all their games as well, beating Dortmund home and away. And I think the first game was 4-0 to Ajax with Haaland playing. Today Haaland was out with an injury as well. So look, again, mate, they always get rid of all their players, but they seem to be they always get the results, Ajax.
So, boys, finally there was the Real Madrid results, 2-1 against Shakhtar. Inter getting a 3-1 win over FC Sheriff. I think I've said that right, or Sheriff, whatever you'd like to say with that one. But that wrapped up the Champions League. Before we wrap up this stream, boys, just like the round, any final Fantasy Premier League big moves that you've made to your team this week, or same old for you, RJ?
Yeah, I just haven't actually a pretty good week. I'm not sure what the ladder is at the moment, but I'm slowly making my rise back up to respectability. I'm just having a quick look at the team now. And I haven't made too many changes. I've got Firmino at the moment, but I'm not sure if he's unavailable. So I'm just sort of checking that one a bit closely. But aside from that, no, I'm actually pretty happy. I've got in my midfield Gallagher, Salah, and Benrahma. They've been going pretty well. I've been playing 5 at the back who've been going pretty well for me. But I might tweak one of the defenders at the moment, given who's playing this week. I've got Cresswell there, so obviously Liverpool are going to give him a tough run. But aside from that, yeah, I'm pretty happy with my lineup.
What about you, Robbie? Any big moves, mate, or just keeping it simple?
Yeah, no, I've gone one move this week. I've taken out who I like. I've taken Cancelo out. I think they'll beat us, but I don't think it'll be a clean sheet for some reason. And I've got 3 in defence from Chelsea now, so I've brought in Reece James. I think everyone needs to be on the Reece James train. So I've got him and Rudiger and Mendy in my defence. And then who else have I got? I've got White, which I was spewing about last week. I took him out thinking he was injured, and he got the clean sheet. So he was on my bench, but he's back in. Salah, Benrahma, Rafinha, he's been good every week. Grealish, I think this could be, if he doesn't step up, I think he's going to be getting a flick soon, Grealish. And then I'll tell you who I have been liking from Wolves. The Asian guy, Hang or Hwang or whatever his name is, the striker that they bought, the Asian guy up front. He's been really good. I'm unlucky he got his goal ruled off for a VAR offside on their game last week, but he's on like 5 point something, and he's every week he's getting like a goal or an assist. So he's a really good differential I've had in my team lately.
There you go. Yeah, look, for me, as I said earlier, I've got rid of Jamie Vardy and I've put in Harry Kane, thinking that there's going to be some kind of resurgence at Spurs. Not enough that there'll be anything decent, but at the very best, he'll start scoring. Can you stop arguing for the subscribers in the live chat, RJ?
I'm engaging with them, mate. With them.
We're on the road to 500. You're trying to get us back on the road to 100. Stop it.
Come at me, bro.
Concierge of Crime is absolutely right, and you are absolutely wrong.
He's gone, mate.
As the neutral, I'll put an end to it. But yeah, I have bought in Harry Kane and Conor Gallagher, so I took a 4-point hit this week, which doesn't matter when you're in 50th place. So hopefully that can start paying me back, but we'll see. David saying Joao's going to be ripping them early, 2 assists, put him captain. Dave is more confident. He's a bit sad tonight. He's a bit upset.
Cancelo today in the Champions League killed it, man. I think he got like 2-3 assists as well. He was all over him. So yeah, look, I think he's going to be great, but surely someone's going to be marking him a little bit. I told you, when we play City, we always like to sit back and hit them on the break. They always score at Old Trafford first, and then we always get them on the break from sitting back deep. Look, who knows what's going to happen, but I don't think it'll be a clean sheet. That's what I'm saying. That's why I took him out this week.
It's going to be interesting, boys, but it's been a cracker of a show. Absolute cracker. RJ, did you want to wrap this baby up?
Well, for me, I just want to say what a banging chat. It's going to be an awesome games coming up, and I really can't wait for it, to be honest. Have you boys got anything much planned for the weekend, or are you just sitting back and waiting for the bad boy Premier League to unfold?
Keeping it quiet, man. We're doing a little bit of work behind the scenes to bring you guys some top quality guests during the month of November. We could be bringing back an old guest who's joined us a few times. Absolute champion of Australian football, so fingers crossed we can lock that up. I don't want to announce anything now, but no, keeping it quiet, mate. Like I said, back at work, so a bit tired for the weekend, so bring it on.
That's it, mate. City Saturday night at the pub to watch the Manchester Derby with the New South Wales supporters group, so I'll see Tom and the boys there, share a beer, and mate, hopefully it'll be a bonus if we get a result.
Hey, are you driving down to that, Robbie?
Yes, I'm driving. So, mate, look, by the time I drive there, I'm going to have an early few drinks. And then, the game will finish at 1:30. By the time I walk back to the car and drive home, it's going to be close to 3 by the time I get in. So, I'm going to need a little bit of a sleep in on Sunday morning, I think.
Mate, I'll see how my young fella sleeps. I might jump in the car with you for that.
I reckon.
We'll see how we go. RJ and I can come in blue. I'll wear the blue Arsenal jersey. All right. RJ,
let's do it. Look, thanks again, everybody. Remember, please hit the like button, subscribe, share it with your friends. But remember, enjoy another week of the beautiful game and take care, guys.